Hi Year 2 students, my name's Ella and I'll be your teacher today. Welcome back. We are at lesson 16. Today's lesson you will need your hundreds, tens and ones models. Remember we made these in a previous lesson. And you will need a pack of cards and some pegs. That's for our lesson today. I'm just going to do a little recap on some of our learning we've already done, because our idea of number sense, how we use numbers and how we can use them in different ways, is improving each and every time. So you will have a book where our learning has been placed. Let's have a quick look at what we've done previously. So some really important things we have learned is how to make our 10 frames, what our cherry diagrams look like. They do look like cherries, don't they? So 75 can be a 70 and a 5. We've looked at our bar models. We know how to draw these. We've got our whole and our parts. And we've made some number sentences, because often when we're doing our maths together, we will make it, draw it and write it. And we've got pretty good at that. We've also done some number sentences about balancing and the importance of that equal sign. Okay, the equal sign doesn't really mean this is the answer. It means this side is the same as that side. Or these numbers make this. And we had a look and made our own place value mats. Okay, this is an example in my book. I wonder if yours looks the same. So we had a hundreds, a tens and a ones. And in our one column, we made a 10 frame. And that was helping us see the idea that 10 of these is one of those. I wonder if you remember that. We also used our place value mat to look at 0. 0 means none of these, but it does hold a place. It will tell me if a 0 is here, I have 0 tens, but it holds its place there. We had a look at some car number plates. I hope you've had a lot of fun with those. And we had a look at what we could call those car number plates if we saw those digits together. So we did a lot of saying 3-digit numbers. Here are some ways I've represented my drawings, so I can see if I have 7 tens and 3 ones, I have 70 plus 3 is 73. Make, draw and write. Okay. Then we had a look at some tricky arrow place values. We had a bit of fun with that. And we had a go at writing those numbers in words. So this is where spelling meets maths. A little bit tricky, but we had a go and we wrote those down. And you can see sometimes I ask you to fill your page. So we've filled the page with our learning there. And the last lesson we shared together was looking at our benchmark numbers for 100. And we used some bar models to show that. So we discovered together that 100 is 2 50s, 100 might be 5 20s, 100 could be 4 25s, or 100 could be 10 10s. Okay, that's a lot of learning and we'll keep going because we're doing such a great job. So today's lesson, we're going to start with a number talk. So let's have a good look at this. My friend Austin decided that he would have a go at representing the number 634. Let me write that down for you. He decided he would make the number 634. This is the number we're after. So, Austin did get it right, but which one is his? Let's have a look. Is it this one, number 1? is it this one, number 2, or is it this one, number 3? Which one is correct? How do we represent the number 634? I'll let you have a look at those. This is the first one. Here's the second. And this is the third. 1, 2, 3. Have you picked one? Which one is the correct one? Let's have a look at the first one. How many can I see represented here? I can recognise this. I can subitize this if I want to, because I can see it's a 3 or a 2 or a 4 or a 1, or I can recognise it immediately as a 5. I can see it's a 5. So I can see that this is 500. I can subitize and recognise this as a 3 tens, and oh, look at this. Straight away I can see it's a 4 ones. Let's check. Aha! I hope you didn't pick number 1. It's okay if you did, because when we make mistakes we do great learning as well. So I can see a difference here. What is the difference between these two numbers? What's missing? You're right. This one's missing, isn't it? If I had another 100, it would be 634. Okay, let's try the next one. Have a good look. I wonder if you picked this one or this one. Okay, let's see. I can recognise this straight away without counting. I hope you can too. But if I didn't, if I wasn't ready, I'll just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 600 and 3 in the tens, 3 groups of 10. And once again, I can recognise this as a 4. 634. There it is. Well done. Let's just check the last one though. Or perhaps you can see a difference straight away. These two numbers straight away. What is the difference between these two? It's almost like a spot the difference. I can see it. There it is. If I hit those two, it would be the same number, wouldn't it? 634. But there's 2 more ones. So instead of looking at that number in the same way, I might write this number sentence. 634 plus 2. I can see we have 2 more. And 634 plus the 2 more is 636. Great work with 3-digit numbers. Just check that. You're right. 6 hundreds, 3 tens and 6 ones. So congratulations if you did pick the one in the middle, and well done, Austin. Okay, let's get to our next lesson. Today's learning intention is to make and order 3-digit numbers. And we'll know we can do this when we order our 3-digit numbers from smallest to largest. First, let's recap on our ones, tens and hundreds. So we know that 10 of these, 10 ones, makes or is equal to 110. 10 of these makes one of those. And we know that 10 tens makes one of these, 100. So 10 of these makes one of those. And we know that because we've been able to use our hundreds, tens and ones place value chart and organise our 3-digit numbers in that way. Okay, and just remember, you might need to use your own tens, your own ones, or your own hundreds if you want to make your numbers first. All right, so let's get started with today's lesson. We are going to need a pack of cards. And this pack of cards, we need to take some of those cards out because we don't need all of them for our lesson. So I'm going to take out the jokers. I'm going to take out all the picture cards. And I'm going to take out our 4 tens. And that will leave me with all of my numbers ace to 9. Remember, ace is 1. Okay, so we now have the digits 1 to 9 ready to use. I'll pop away these ones. And I'm going to grab 3 pegs because I'm going to grab some numbers and peg them together. So let's start by finding our numbers. Here I have 1 as an ace, an 8 and a 7. So we're going to call this 187. 187. And I'm going to put them together just so they don't go out of order with 1 peg. I've got 187. 108 tens and 7 ones. There's my first 3-digit number. Okay, we're going to make 3 altogether. So my next numbers are 271. 271. Okay. 2 in the hundreds, 200s, 7 tens and 1 1. And because I don't want them to go out of order, I'm going to peg that one too. So my last 3-digit number, 7, 3 and 8. 700, 3 tens and 8 ones. So I've made my first set of 3 3-digit numbers. Okay, I'll let you have a little bit of time now to make sure you've got your set as well. Okay, so I hope you've got some 3 3-digit numbers in front of you as well. That will help with your learning. Let's have a look at some numbers. I'll pull this one out first. What have we got? We have 271. This represents 271. Okay, we have another number here. This number is 187. Did you hear me say and? Remember that from last lessons? 187. Okay, and our last 3-digit number looks like this. We write it as 738. Okay, so our job today is to order from smallest to largest. Let's have a think about how we might do that and what these numbers look like. What do these numbers look like to you? We've done a lot of making. Now we're going to think about what values they have in our place value. Our ones, 10 of these makes 1 of those. Remember? And 10 of these makes 1 of those. So each time I move to the left, it becomes 10 times bigger. 10 times bigger, 10 times bigger. Remember? If we have a look at that and a little one, we can see they're growing by tens. Remember, we can always use these to help our thinking. So, which is the smallest and which is the largest and which one will be in the middle? Okay, where do we start? I can see there's 8 ones here. That looks like a big number. 8 tens here, another big number. And we've got 2 smallest numbers, a 1, 1 and a 100. This could get a little bit confusing. I need a system. I need to think about which is the biggest. And I think we know the biggest because as we move across, we become bigger, that we're looking at our hundreds. You can see it's a big number, 100. All right, so let's move to the hundreds first and look at our numbers here. Can you see which one is the smallest number? Now I know that this is the smallest number, 1. 1 in the hundreds. This is 100. So I can see it's the smallest number I have out of my 3. Okay, 187. Let's write that down as our smallest number, 187. Okay, I'm going to put a little comma in here so I know that I'm not going to run into long numbers and I'm going to leave quite a bit of space. Okay, so I've got 187 is my smallest. Well, which one would be my largest number? I don't want to get confused with some big numbers in my 1s and 10s. I'm still looking for my big hundreds. So I know that this number, my smallest number, has 1 of these hundreds. My biggest number will be 7. 7 of these. It looks like this. 7 of these. It's a big number. Okay, so I'm going to write my largest number, 738, at the end of my sentence, 738. I can see my smallest number, I can see my biggest number, so now I know that my middle number, one in between, must be 2. So the middle number is 271. Let's rearrange those on my desk so I can see, oh look, it's already in that arrangement. My smallest, my middle number and my largest. So I move across from smallest to largest. Let's try another one. Okay, so I have made lots of 3-digit numbers with my cards and pegs to place them in smallest to largest. Just remember, I need to look at the hundreds first. How many hundreds do I have? Because that will make my largest number with the largest number of hundreds. Okay, fill up your learning book, press pause, and I'll see you once you're finished. Okay, let's reflect. So in today's lesson, we learned to order numbers from smallest to largest, and we looked at the hundreds column first. The largest numbers have the most hundreds in them, and we were pretty good at it and we practiced quite a lot. So let's think about what our takeaway task is today. It's called the bins game, and here we go. I've pulled some of my cards apart and got the numbers from 1, remember ace is 1, 1 to 9. So now I have the digits 1 to 9 to play with. Okay, that's the first part of our game. The second part of our game is to make our bins game format. So here we go. We're going to use hundreds, tens and ones, and we need to draw a bin right next door that I can put 2 numbers in. Okay, so now I can have 5 numbers altogether. I can place a number here, 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 or pop 2 in the bin. Okay, let's have a look. So now I have my cards 1 to 9. I'm going to shuffle them a little bit. Might put them down and move them around, or I might play around with them a bit. So I've got some in the front, some in the back. Or maybe I'm very good at shuffling. I'm not sure, but let's make sure they're all mixed up so we're not 1 to 9. Okay, so to play the bins game, I need to pull out a number and place it somewhere here so that I can have the biggest number I can possibly get. Once I've put my number in a place, I can't move it. So here we go. Here's the first number. It's a 7. 7 is a big number. And I'm trying to make my biggest number. So I do know that there are some numbers bigger in my pack, but I don't know if I'm going to pull them out. So I think I might put my 7 in the tens column. I know it's a big number, but I also know I might pull out a bigger one to make a larger number. So I'm going to put my 7 there. Okay, my next number is 1. I'm going to put 1 in the bin. I'm going to put 1 in the bin because I know that 1 is a tiny number. In fact, it's the smallest number I have in my pack. So I'm going to pop it over here in the bin. Okay, the next number I pulled out is a 6. 6 is a big number. When I think about my numbers 1 to 9, 6 is a good number. It's not too small. I think I might put 6 over here in my ones. Okay, I'm not going to put it in the bin. It's a bit too big. I'm not going to put it in my hundreds. It's a bit too small, I think. I'm not sure. Let's see what my next card is. 9. I know exactly where I'm going to put the 9. Do you? 9's my biggest number. Perfect. And I've left that little spot there for my 9. My last card, I'll have to put in the bin. It's a 2. That is a really big number. 976. All right, guess what happens next? I can play again. And I'm going to see if I can beat that really big number. And that's our bin game. Make sure it goes in your learning book. Make sure you have fun. And don't forget, you need to shuffle. Okay, so we've got lots of random cards coming out at the same time. Have fun. I'll see you the next time.